beautiful life. It's a beautiful day in Devon, and today I'm catching the number 70 Cornwall and Plymouth City bus to Cawsands to walk to Cremyll. It's the Cremyll bus, number 70. And I'm catching outside the Theatre Royal in Plymouth. The bus goes over the Tor Point ferry, which is about a 15-minute boat ride into Cornwall. And it crosses the River Tamar. As we leave the ferry, we cross into Tor Point. Tor Point is a town and parish on the Rhine Peninsula. It has a non-league football team, and Cornish wrestling used to take place here in the 1700s. The town is twinned with Bennott in Brittany. Rushing ahead now in the video, we're now heading towards Whitsun Bay, one of the most panoramic bus rides in Cornwall. Heading towards Cawsands.
Surface in the sea.
In the distance you can see Rame Head on the Rhine Peninsula, which makes another great walk down to Cremyll. You can get off the bus at any point along this road, just press the button. So you can start your walk virtually anywhere along here, or get off the bus and spend the day at Whitsun Bay. Bungalows aren't very cheap around here either.
No.
How long will it take you to walk to Cremyll from Rame Head?
3 hours.
Yeah, that's a nice walk.
Maybe a bit longer if I stop for a cup of tea.
Yeah. Cawsands. Yeah, there's a restaurant at the top that's been empty for about 2 to 3 years now. That's been for sale.
Yeah, it's in operation again.
Oh, is it?
I noticed last week. Yeah.
Right, okay, good.
They're only selling coffees and snacks and things.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to have it open again.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a bit of energy to get up to the pinnacle at Rame Head, doesn't it?
Yeah. There is. I've not found the coastal path. I normally go round by Maker Church. Sorry, not Maker Church. Rame Church.
Yeah.
But there is a way you can go round the coastal path. I haven't found it.
I think this is where you got the memorial to the guy that used to run the Western Morning News, just around the corner here.
Oh, in Trevor.
It's like a cross.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, right. Okay, I didn't realise it was to him.
I don't think you've heard what I said. I don't think you heard what I said earlier. No.
It's different every time you come along here, isn't it? The lighting
I have
is
my eyes closed the whole
beautiful.
And down there, there's a cafe. It's really nice.
Yeah. And it's quite calm at the moment as well.
When it was done,
Cold but calm.
my eyes. I could see like the tissues they were using. The amount of blood. You're cutting off way too much, and I can't talk to you. I'm like on the cliffs. My wit's sad.
Mind you,
Nice day for a walk.
yes.
It's been a cold start to the morning, so it might warm up quite nicely later.
I think it might. And then I'll be too hot.
Catch 22, yeah. Then you've got to carry your coat as well.
I know, yeah, tie it around my waist.
Yeah.
Stick it in my rucksack or something.
If you rely on the weather, you'll do nothing in the UK.
No,
So you have to just go
just
for
have
it.
to go. I know. I could be doing lots of chores at home. Got an allotment.
Oh, just switch off of it. Don't feel guilty.
I know I don't. But I paint and photograph and stuff, and I just haven't got enough time. I need to give up my work.
Yeah. What sort of work do you do?
I'm a podiatrist.
What's that?
Feet.
Oh, feet. No, that's good.
Look after people's feet.
Well, these boots are made for walking. That's what they'll do. Just coming into Cawsands now, which is where I get off the bus and start my walk down to Cremylle. A nice short 3-mile walk today. Well, I've just got off the number 70 Plymouth bus to Cremyll, going into Cornwall, and I'm going to walk back from Cawsands to Cremyll and then get the bus back probably. So let's enjoy the walk.
Don't get me in that one, my agent will be after you.
Right, okay. Cheers. Drake's Cottage, Draystown. Just coming out into the village square now in Cawsands.
What's that about?
The Cross Kean. And this is the wood front, and this area is called the Bound.
Wait for the next one then.
I've just come out of the Bound and I'm turning right and we'll hit the coastal path heading towards Cremyll. Great sense of community, lots of people out talking to each other, which is nice. Garrett Street. Look at those views. We're in the second week of October and it's had a cold start to the morning, but it's really nice now. Nice little smugglers type village from the past. The old ship market. Coffee and cakes. What a great sense of community. Local shops. Kingston and Cawsands are joined together, so we've probably just come out of Cawsands and heading into Cawsands now. Love these little narrow streets. It's like flashing back in time. You can imagine the pirates and the smugglers coming into little villages like this. Some famous videos and pictures of this building being storm lashed. I've got shutters here for stormy tides. We're nearly heading out of Cawsands now, heading towards Mount Edgecombe. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
So we're still walking along the beach. I think we need to go up here to try and get onto the coastal path, if we can. Nicely overgrown here. We're coming off the beach and we have to swing right here. Like a big meadow. And then we're on the coastal path heading towards Mount Edgecombe. At the end of the meadow. Now we come on the high ground, just look at the views. We got Ramehead to the right, and the Rame Peninsula, and then Wembury and the Dewstone at the back. And then Plymouth goes off behind the corner there. And that's like a fortress with very expensive flats just in the foreground. Slightly panoramic view of Kingston Cawsands there, and let's pan round. So peaceful and quiet today, and the wind's dropped so it's calm. I was watching a programme on TV last night about the universe with Brian Cox, and how the universe started and how the sun became a god for humans to celebrate and be inspired by, and the sun was a way, or their god was a way of explaining things and what life and the meaning of life was all about. Thank you. As far as we know, human beings are the most unique living things in the universe, and the way we've evolved and educated ourselves to move forward, we don't really know what the purpose of that is for. But we're also the most destructive, because we kill ourselves, we destroy ourselves, and then we reinvent ourselves. And if we don't, then nature takes over and starts again. We're a strange species. So that makes us unique and valuable to the extreme. So why do we go around hating each other and killing each other? It's nonsense. And at the moment it's getting a bit extreme. People need to wake up and stop being stupid. We set laws up against each other, and then the people that set the laws up can't play within the laws themselves. So that tells you the laws aren't workable. And laws should be aimed at targeting people that do harm. In which case, they'd be targeting the people that create wars and stop all wars. Because policies change on a daily basis, and people die for nothing. Stupid. Tactical human games. Today's world reminds me of a James Bond movie where you get eccentric idiots wanting to rule everybody else, and if they can't have their way, they'll destroy themselves and the other people in the world around them, which is what's happening now. It's all nonsense. Greed and power. We've got a tractor along here. You see how the erosion's taking over the coastline around here. Some of the tracks I used to cover I walked along years ago have already been eroded into the sea. And the follies near Mount Edgecombe. There's the breakwater over in the distance. It was designed to protect Plymouth from the storms and enemies. I believe it's about a mile long. It's turned out really warm now. It was very cold earlier on. Where that tree point is, that's a scout campsite, I believe. And we're near the fortress now. Just taking my foul weather jacket off because it's far too warm for wearing it. We're heading out to the meadow now that leads to Cawsands, and we're going to cross over onto the Edgecombe estate in a minute, which is that path over the back there. Had a lot of heavy rain 2 days ago, so hopefully it's not too muddy. So it's 2 miles to Cremylle ferry from here. Who Lake, East Cornwall District Scout Campsite. So straight ahead takes you to the Citadel, which is very exclusive apartments with a swimming pool and tennis courts. We're not going down there, we're going this way to the left. And look what people let their animals do to the dark and the deer. Poor animals ripped to pieces by dogs. Out of control by ignorant owners. So across the path to Barn Pool. We'll take this route then, I think. We're now on the Mount Edgecombe estate, and they got deer roaming around, which are very elusive. They tend to go over the other side of the park where there's less people, or on the top during the day near the church. So the bus I caught this morning was the number 70 Cremylle bus from Plymouth City Centre outside St Andrew's Church on the left hand side, on Armada Way, and it took about 3/4 of an hour to get to Cawsands, where I jumped over the bus. You can get off the bus anywhere along Whitsun Bay and Cawsands towards Cremyll and walk any distance you like, but today I decided to do a reasonably short one because I wasn't sure what the weather was going to do, and just enjoy the afternoon. During the last year I've never seen so many crows and magpies, and they're both very intelligent species of birds, so it's nice to hear and see them. Out on the lower Mount Edgecombe track with the fortress at the end of that road to the right, and we'll probably see a bit of it as we walk along this path, if I remember correctly. As we go around this bend we should see one of the old Mount Edgecombe follies, hopefully. You're right there. Hi. And there's the end of the fortress, and that's where obviously where they store the boats by the looks of it, and the main car park. And we're approaching the folly now. Trees like this are normally kept in place after they've fallen to stop cyclists and cut down erosion. We're just coming into the opening now where the folly is on the bend. I've not been here for years, so it'd be nice to see if it's changed. And autumn's kicking in now, a lot of the leaves have fallen off the trees already. Said that the autumn colours weren't going to be as good this year for some reason. Well, it's been a funny year, 2024. It's been hot, claggy, and we've had a lot of rain all the way through the year. So it's become very unpredictable to do anything without getting wet. It's not too bad if it's warm, but in the winter when it's cold and it's raining. Oh, they've opened out all the areas, so they've taken all the foliage, planted new trees at the back. Yeah, a lot of these follies on the Edgecombe estate just built to look good, because quite often this one's in a good direction for the sun, but some of them are west and east facing, so they're out of the direct sunlight. The ones that I left there is because some of them have eroded into the sea. Another look at the car park for the Citadel, or the oh, you can see it there now. Very, very modernised, very expensive. Almost like a little clan of its own. Beautiful views from there. So this footpath has been closed because of erosion. So I've been in Plymouth since 1993, so I'm interested to see how this area has changed, because I used to walk these paths, these lower paths, many times in the past, and a lot of them have gone into the sea, but I've not done this walk for probably about 4 years, so I want to see how the erosion's taken over. If you don't know what you're doing in the country, then always stick to the science, because they're there for a reason. Got a side bag on, so I don't want to catch myself. So it makes it a bit awkward just getting through here. Other people have disregarded the notice as well, I noticed. Lots of footprint. So I can't blame them. We're not in a dictatorship yet. think this is the area where the old folly used to be, and we're coming into an area also that's had a lot where most of the erosion's taking place. You can see it here. This path is very close to the edge now, and it becomes like a cliff in some areas. Very, very heavy scree slopes. Look at that, and the erosion on the side there. When I first came to Plymouth, I met a guy who looked like Wurzel Gummidge down here, and he was an Australian, and he'd been here for quite a while, and he was living in a bottom folly which has now gone into the sea, and he told me that he was good at looking after deer. I forget what they call it, not a herder, but a keeper. So they allowed him to stay on the land whilst he looked after the deer, and he tried to give me a cup of tea in an old tin mug which had all sorts of things coming out of it, so I had to decline. Nice to do this track because it's a track that most people won't be doing on videos, because they'll be doing the upper track with the panoramic views, which is the main coastal path. It looks as though this has been dumped on purpose to stop people from getting through. And there's the old track. Right, yeah, so this is where the track catches up now, because that's the eroded area, and the main track comes down here now, so this has been blocked off to stop people coming through. And the folly I used to go to was just down the back there. Look at that lady running up there. Danger, path closed due to landslip. Please follow path to the right. I'm not going to the right because we're going down, so I'm going to the left. And we're near the keeper's house now, which is at the bottom here. For a long time it's lying empty, but it was taken over back again about 15, 20 years ago now. Well, I was impressed with the lady on the bus that I was talking to coming on down here. She was getting up Rome Head and she was going to walk further. And I wish I had now, because it's quite a short trip and I'm nearly at Edgecombe. But it's a great walk and a great afternoon. So in a minute we swing left, and the old folly used to be just over the back there. Fence is down, so I might just see if we can find any of it left. path is getting a bit edgy here, so got to be careful. Oh, I've got a bit of a dodgy leg at the moment as well. Ah, this is where the old house used to be. The old folly house used to be, and it's all gone completely. There's bits of stone all over the place now. But this was a proper folly when I first came to Plymouth in 92, 93. Just go to the edge here and then head back. I don't want to go sliding into the sea. So it's all gone down. Heading back into the main track now. You have to watch surfaces like this when you're going downhill, especially scree slopes, because once you start gaining speed, you can't stop. And that gets people into trouble all over the world. So we're heading down into the main Edgecombe estate now. We're not too far from the keeper's house. And you can start to see Plymouth now over the back there. You got the Barbican, you got Becky House, which is the sky rise in the background, which is very expensive student accommodation. Hi. Hi. And that's the keeper's house. We're not too far from Edgecombe House now.
Problem.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Right.
I know you didn't do it, and I don't mind.
When I came down here many years ago, this was run down and unkept. And now look at it. Built in 1882. There's probably a herder's house for the deer on the park originally. Along this track and to the left, from the direction I'm going in, from Cawsands, you got a big folly on the hill, which is the biggest folly in Mount Edgecombe. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. And films have been made around it, and it's been used a lot by art students for their videos as well, because it's a very poetic sort of Romeo and Juliet themed building, like a little castle that's been eroded over many years. But it's all part of the staging for the park.
This is where the coastal path starts to open out. And if I remember properly, going this way, you come out at the top of the folly, unless we take it to the right. Let's go to the right. Oh, there it is. Sorry, just to the left. Wasn't looking properly. Let's go. Where's Julie Andrews when you need her? The hills are alive with the sound of music. You can really see the autumn colours coming in now as the bracken dies back. Apparently, bracken's highly toxic and cancerogenic, so you have to be careful with it. I'm nearly at the folly on the hill now, and just look at these stunning views. Drake's Island there, and then on this side of Drake's Island you got little markers put in the sea to prevent boats and submarines from getting into the dockyards, which is one of the biggest dockyards in the world, just to the left of us. And you got Jenny Cliff over in the background, just over there, and then Mountbatten to the left, where Lawrence of Arabia had his last posting in the Royal Australian Air Force as a corporal. And looking at this view and thinking that Charles Darwin spent 3 months here before he went off on a global scientific survey, which inspired him to do the follow-up with the search for the origins of the species. Oh, they've got closed circuit television on this now. That's new. No privacy anywhere anymore, have you? Never used to have. Look at that. That's Devil's Point over there as well. And then just behind the front of Devil's Point, you got the Royal William Yard. And over to the right, just behind that area, you've got Mill Bay Docks, where Brittany ferries come in and out. And then round there, you've got Tinside Pool and Plymouth Hoe, with Sweetens Tower on the hill over the back, which is Plymouth Hoe. And then round to the right there, you go into Plymouth Barbican. And then you've got Mountbatten over the back, and Fort Bovisand right over in the corner, which used to be a diving school for the Navy. Oh, this has been broken off. Needs to be put back, I think. Part of the section. I wonder where the spy cameras are then. They're not on the building. Right, I'm in trainers, going down on grass. Let's see if we can get down without falling down. There's a big boat marina just at the back there, and it's built in the shape of a boat as well, or a cruise ship. Tug coming out, so the chances are there's a Navy ship coming out at the same time. Alright, from the Folium, now on the lower track. If you go to the left, that takes you straight into Mount Edgecombe Park. If you go to the right, that takes you towards the lower coastal path, which can take you in at a lower level. So we're going at the top and then have a walk around. They've got foreign varieties of trees in here, and one of the tree varieties is bark, and they always look a little rough. Sorry. I could be wrong, but I think that part of Johnny Depp's version of Alice in Wonderland was filmed around Mount Edgecombe. I went to audition as an extra, and they said they got enough. Please shut the gate, deer and sheep in the area. Now we're now in the grounds of Edgecombe Gardens in the upper level. Doesn't look like it from here, but you'll see in a minute. So they have the National Cremylle collection here. There are over 270 species now recorded, but only 3 so far are of any significant number of cultivations for gardens use worldwide. They are Creticulata and Jacoponica, and sorry about the translation, Sasanqua. Also another 6 or so are being used more for hybridization, but don't forget the Sasensia is of great importance to the tea industry. Species generally have smaller flowers and more open foliage and do have more often than not a scent. Right, people are coming, so I'll keep quiet. Didn't have my glasses on, by the way, so that didn't help. And I'm slightly dyslexic as well. To the right, and I think this area takes me down to Edgecombe Lake, which is man-made, I think. Quite often don't do research on things, I just go in spontaneously because I can find more that way, and you see things from a different perspective as well, which is really good. You can see the lake down there now. This area up onto the main field at the back is used for festivals in the summer, and one of them is the Green Man Festival, and I recorded that this summer into 2024, and it was raining, but it's still enjoyable. Nearly back on the main coastal path again, and we swing left down into the little valley where the lake is, and then just beyond that is the main park to Edgecombe. That's Devonport in the background there where the sky rises are. Bottom end of Plymouth. Plymouth used to be 3 towns and they were all joined together. Devonport, Plymouth, and can't remember what the other name was, Stonehouse maybe. And there's another folly. And this one faces out the sun, so that wasn't very well thought out. It'd been better over the other side. The new policy in gardening is to let things grow semi-wild now to protect nature, and this certainly is. Reed beds in the background, ducks around in the water, and you can hear them just there. And this grass is wet. We're halfway through the park now and we're nearly at Cremyll, where you can either get the ferry back, which is about a 15-minute ride across to Stonehouse, near the Royal Wheeling Yard, or get the bus back. And I think I'll get the bus back, so it's a nice total round circle then for today. Could have walked further. I remembered the distance I walked in the past being a bit, I felt it was a bit longer.
Mount Edgecombe National Park hosts the National Camellia Collection. A great plant hunter called George Forrest, an avid seed collector, brought to Britain the seeds of Solensis and Reticulata species. These were to prove of great importance in raising the new and different hybrids. J.C. Williams was the first to raise the plant Solensis from George Forrest seeds. This plant in turn was hybridized with Camellia japonica to produce the first camellids hybrid called Camellia Williamsille, named after him. These crosses proved more hardy than the Solensis and Japoneses by themselves and could tolerate the colder temperatures around Britain. In 1692, the West was given its first insight into the camellia as a flowering plant when Gilbert Kempter, the chief surgeon to the Dutchy East Indian Company, brought with him the Asia details of over 30 different varieties.
Another little interesting folly. Or did it used to be a drinking well? Yeah, drinking well I think, maybe. Got a little trough in there. And this is Mount Edgecombe Beach, which is quite stony. And a better view of Drake's Island in the background there. Slightly wrong earlier. This is the area where all the summer festivals take place. Around the Green Man Festival stretches down to here and goes up into the field at the back on the other side of Mount Edgecombe. Then they have vintage car rallies and other events. We've just come off the southwest coastal path and past the amphitheatre, and we'll head towards the Orangery and the Fulmar Gardens now. And the Fulmar Gardens is just over the back there. One thing I like about Plymouth is the story of T. Lawrence. I love explorers, and like I said, he had his last posting in the Royal Australian Airport just over the back there at Mountbatten, but he's very important around 1914 in the early 1900s, and you can hear in a minute.
T.E. Lawrence spent his last posting in the Royal Australian Air Force at Mountbatten in Plymouth. Thomas Edward Lawrence, CB DCSO, was born on the 16th of August 1888 and died on the 19th of May 1935. He became a British Army officer, archaeologist, diplomat and writer, known for his role during the Arab Revolt and Sinai-Palestine campaign against the Ottoman Empire in the First World War. The breadth and variety of his activities and associations, and Lawrence's ability to describe them vividly in writing, earned him international fame as Lawrence of Arabia, which was turned into a film in 1962 with Peter O'Toole as the lead actor.
We're heading into the Fulmar Gardens of Mount Edgecombe now. Oh, by the way, Mount Edgecombe in the daffodil season in May, early May, has an overwhelming amount of daffodils along the coastal path. Well worth coming and seeing. Semi-exotic trees and plants in this area, and this is the pet cemetery for the household of Edgecombe. With little follies. And memorial to one of the dogs there. And then little gravestones. And the rest areas so they can reflect and remember their pets. Then all of a sudden it opens out into a great big pan with the autumn colours coming in of the park, the Fulmar Gardens. And it's that time of the year where the grey squirrels are gathering the nuts and burying them for the winter. And this is the Orangery, I think. Unless I got it wrong, and the Orangery is where the cafe is further down now, which you'll see in a minute. Look at this. This is the Relic Gardens. Great locations for photo shoots. That's new. Sculpture going up. If that was contemporary art, you could say it's finished. That's something to do with Sophie. Time that the trees were cut into shape. And this is the bottom end of the park now, near Cremyll. Oh, it is Cremyll, should we say, near where the ferry is. There's more to see in the park, so if you come and visit, then spend a nice afternoon here. There's a geyser just over the back. I think this is the orangery. Which is used for weddings and cafe services. In the olden days, nudes were all the rage, and now nudity is taboo, which is all ridiculous. Everything's got out of control. This is the orangery, and you can come here for weddings, balls, all sorts of shows. Get breakfast here, lunch, brunch, high teas, ice cream, teas and coffee, and Sunday roast. They could do with a couple of orange trees in there at least. It's closed at the moment, but here you've got Lambert's Lodge, which is information and a book sales shop. And this is the entrance to the orangery, and that's the entrance to the park. And there's a bus there, so I might be able to just get it if I'm lucky. No, it's not a bus. Should have gone to Specsavers, it's a car. And there's that's definitely a boat. That's going out to Stonehouse. And that's Edgecombe House right at the top there. I've never been in there, so I'll have to go in there sometime. Have a look around. So today's walk's only been about 3 miles, but it's been a nice walk anyway. And the last view is really here. You've got the Royal William Yard, Drake's Island. I think that's Mayflower Marina, I'm not sure. But it's over just the other side of the river. This is the River Tamar, by the way. So it's just across the River Tamar on the Plymouth side. This is Cornwall, and that's Devon. Then Becky Towers, the tall skyrise in the background. And this is Cremylle, where you get the ferry. And lots of people come across, do walks, and jump off the bus further up, and then come here and have a Sunday lunch at this pub. We used to have a museum in it, but it's been burnt down twice over the last 20 to 30 years. So this is the Edgecombe Arms. It says here the next bus to Plymouth is in about 41 minutes.
Just across the water here, you've got the monument to explorer Robert Falcon Scott, who just over 100 years ago went down to the South Pole in a race and didn't come back. They died from hypothermia and starvation. Around the monument are extracts from his diaries, which are very inspirational. It was about taking risks and being prepared to suffer the consequences of your situations. It was turned into a film, Scott of the Arctic, with John Mills in the lead role. Well worth seeing. So this is the Mount Edgecombe Bella, and it's the easy way of getting back to Plymouth. But we're not going back the easy way, we're going to take the long route, the scenic route, which is the way we came in on the bus, which is going to be another half an hour. Or 30 seconds if you're watching the video. And the number 70 is back in now, and it'll be standing here for 10 minutes at Mount Edgecombe, Cremyll, before it starts heading back towards Plymouth by Millbrook. Love Summertime TV worldwide. You can contact us at ccsphoto1@gmail.com. Don't forget to friend and share the video. It's free.